This episode of Goosebumps Crew is sponsored by Stevie Wicks Candle Company, specializing in quality-made scented candles. Link in the description, but more on that later. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Goosebumps Crew Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah Vargas, also known as the Goosebumps channel on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'm joined once again by my Goosebumps cohorts. Micah, the ultimate Goosebumps man, Bjorn Penlick, Goosebumps Aussie fan, and Nick Shawin are with me once again. We're going to talk some more Goosebumps. Are you guys ready?
Always.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, always ready, man.
I knew it. I knew you were going to do that. Well, we're going to talk some Goosebumps. Tonight, we're going to talk about physical media. We're going to talk about Goosebumps VHS tapes, DVDs, soundtracks, audiobooks, because we really love to talk about that stuff. So we're going to talk about all of that and some of our favorite pieces of physical media. We're also going to talk about how we would pitch a Goosebumps reboot. I know we got the 2023 series, and while we like that one fine enough, we also have our own, I think we liked it fine enough. We also have our own opinions on how we would do a Goosebumps reboot. So we're going to get to all of that, but first, we have some news from the Goosebumps world. Very recently, and there was some news about it a few months back. There was a Barnes & Noble listing that came up, but apparently there is an official Goosebumps coloring book that is going to be coming this year at some point from Scholastic, and it's going to feature Tim Jacobus's artwork.
Ooh,
it is a very bland looking cover, as you can see, but it is an adult covering book that features many Tim Jacobus artworks. You can't really see it, but there's Haunted Mask and Terror Tower alongside Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns, One Day at Horrorland, and of course our buddy Slappy. So there was no official release date for that, but that will be coming out this year in 2024. Also, for those who have been keeping up with Cosmic Forces, the folks that are going and making Goosebumps Dead of Night, they recently put out a tweet saying that they have their gameplay tester role position open in their Discord server. And if you guys want to test a new release of Goosebumps Dead of Night, you can join their Discord server and get yourself the role so you can become a play tester. I will leave that link in the description below if you guys want to go check that out. But that's about it for our Goosebumps news. It's time to talk about some physical media. Now, of course, we got to talk about probably the best piece of physical media in terms of Goosebumps, the VHS tapes. We love VHS tapes, and there is no shortage of Goosebumps VHS tapes. Now, we all collect them in some way, or DVDs. I know, Micah, you're more the DVD guy than the VHS guy, but the rest of us are clearly the VHS bros. And of course,
VHS.
yeah, absolutely.
This thing's so funny.
Oh no! Now, for those of you who are kind of keeping up with things that are released overseas and in the US, there were different VHS releases in the US compared to the UK and Australia. Of course, here in the US, the very first one was The Haunted Mask in 1995, or 96. It was 1996 this came out. 1995 is when the episode released. Then after that, we got A Night in Terror Tower. This was the second one, alongside Stay Out of the Basement. This was the only non-Fox special to be released on one of these earlier tapes. Every other one premiered on Fox as a primetime special. Stay Out of the Basement was the only one that was on Fox Kids. The fourth one we got here in the US was The Werewolf of Fever Swamp. This was a green tape, which was pretty nice. Fifth one, Haunted Mask 2. Of course, you got to do the second one. And then we had, if I can find it, oh, here it is, Welcome to Dead House with the sixth one. And then we got Night of the Living Dummy 3. This was the only one that had a, oh no, this is the second one that had a purple label, but it's also the only one that had the full frontal cover art over the other ones. And then we'll talk about these a little more later, but then US also got a 3-line Ultimate Goosebumps VHS line. One Day at Horrorland, Bride of the Living Dummy, and Werewolfskin. So we had 10 releases over here in the States, but I do know, Bjorn, that there was some extras over there in Australia. Do you mind showing those off?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, I guess I'll do the same thing with you. I'll show you the exact order that they actually came out in Australia because our ordering was actually a little bit different. So, like our first VHS tape, for instance, was actually A Night in Terror Tower. That was our first ever one. Not really different, like the covers compared to you guys. The only difference is our VHS tapes weren't in the big clamshell cases. Ours were just in the small, like little plastic sort of ones, like the plastic container ones. So we didn't actually get them in the large case. But our second release was The Haunted Mask. So slight variation. You guys got The Haunted Mask first, and then you got Night Terror Tower second. But we got A Night in Terror Tower first, and then The Haunted Mask actually came out second. And then third, we ended up getting The Well for Fever Swamp. That was our third release for Goosebumps. And then we ended up getting Night of the Living Dummy 3. But the difference between the one in the US and Australia is we actually got, it might be a little hard to see, our version also included Night of the Living Dummy 2. So not only did you get Night of the Living Dummy 3, but you also had Night of the Living Dummy 2. So as a kid, I got to enjoy 2 and 3 as often as I liked.
That's awesome. Yeah, we did not get the second one on tape. We only got the third one, which is weird for those who didn't catch them on TV.
Yeah, so I got to basically, it's funny when a lot of people say to me, like, you know, wouldn't the third one be like super nostalgic to you, like your favorite one? And I'm like, funny enough, 2 is the one I watched the most. I mean, I like 2 and 3. Here's the thing. It's pretty even, Steven, when it comes to those 2 episodes, because number 2 and number 3, like the second one I think is more creepy, whereas 3 I think is a better made production, like episode overall. So it's kind of like a love thing for different aspects of it. But getting off track a little bit, the next VHS we had was actually The Haunted Mask 2. But a slight difference to the US version is ours actually had the actors on the cover, which was really interesting. And I always thought that as a kid. I thought, why is it that our one had this, but the one in the US had just the book cover? So I guess every country wanted to be a bit unique and have something different. So yeah, that being the US and this being the Australian copy. And then the next VHS we got was Welcome to Deadhouse, which also featured the actors on the cover. So I thought that was really interesting that they did that. No variations though to these ones. It was just the one episode, so there wasn't any like bonus episode like in Night of the Living Dummy. But then our final VHS tape, which is actually the rarest one to find in Australia, was Stay Out of the Basement, which also featured the actors. So it's as if the later tapes, they started using these covers. The earlier ones had more the book covers, the Tim Jacobus art. So later on, we actually got these. So very, very interesting and different to what you guys got over there. But then we ended up getting another VHS here. Now, funny enough, though, it's not an Australian, I wouldn't say it's an Australian made copy. It's actually the UK. But most VHS stores in Australia, because Goosebumps was so popular, they actually imported it. And they were selling it at a lot of different like video stores, which was Welcome to Camp Nightmare.
That's
so
cool.
we ended up getting this one, and it's become one of the rarest Goosebumps VHS tapes now in media. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for the VHS tapes here in Australia. But yeah, just slight little variations like with the covers and also a few like episode inclusions like on the Night of the Living Dummy tape. But yes, we also did get Welcome to Camp Nightmare, which is my favorite episode ever. So it's amazing that I was able to pick that up as a kid just at a local market.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. And if I'm not mistaken, there was also a UK Return of the Mummy VHS tape, which I believe you do have also, right?
I do have that, yes. Now, this one I did order, but it's crazy because this I don't think was actually released. I'll quickly take it out of the packaging and I'll show you. Don't worry, it's not the actual packaging. I just seal them up. But it actually says, it might be a little hard to see, but it says right there, I might have to send an image so you can get it a bit clearer, but for promotional use only.
Oh.
So I don't think it was actually released to the public. I think it was given out as like a special thing. So maybe people that worked at Fox at the time, or maybe even just people that worked at the video store were all gifted one of these. I don't know. I've never really known the full story, but yes, there was a Return of the Mummy VHS. But it's kind of sad because you have an entire VHS with one episode. Look how small.
One
the
20-minute episode. Yeah. No, put 2 episodes on there.
one
Yeah, and of all the
20-minute
episodes, you chose Return of the Mummy.
Yeah.
Which is one of like the
and
worst.
what was even before it? I was always curious to know what came on before it. Like, what was the ads? Because I never actually played it because I got it so much later. What was actually put on this VHS before it started, the episode? Like, what were the ads? Like, yeah, it's so
Hopefully
crazy.
we can find out. Hopefully we can find out.
Definitely.
But and Nick, you got yourself a collection of sealed VHS tapes too.
Yeah, so I can't really open and show, but I have all the American ones except for Bride of the Living Dummy. That's the only one I'm missing. So if anybody's watching and you got one, you need to hit me up because I
Send it
really need
over. Send it over.
Now I have started collecting some of the ones from Australia, thanks to Bjorn doing our trades and stuff like that. So I'm only actually missing one out of that, but he's going to be nice enough to send me that one in our next box that we're doing with each other. So I have a complete Australian version as well collection. Not all sealed, just one. I do have Night of the Living Dummy 3 sealed because we did a exchange one for one, an American copy sealed for an Australian copy sealed. So, but it's weird because like the sealed copies in Australia, yeah, like he's showing you right there, it's not the outside that's covered, it's the inside tape that's covered.
Mm-hmm. That's weird.
That is so it's so like growing up when all your VHSs and DVDs and even Blu-rays, everything now in the US, it's all sealed from the outside. Theirs weren't. Like you could just straight up open that case and there's the tape. The tape sealed. That just blows my mind that that's how they did things over there.
Yeah.
I don't
Very
know if it's
different.
because like crime
Resealed.
is different there. Like they weren't worried as much about theft like America was, but it just like I just didn't understand. I was like, is this new or did you like shrink wrap this yourself, bro, and say this is new? Like, what the hell's happening here?
Yeah.
You got your little proof of purchase there. So that's how you know if it was sealed. So that's the other thing too. We got these little proof of purchase stickers on the inside as well to know that you bought a Goosebumps VHS.
And it wasn't pirated.
Yes. It was legit.
The only overseas tape I have is the UK Night of the Living Dummy 3. It has a red sleeve on it. And there's nothing really too special about it other than the fact that it's unlike the US version. This one features a cover that's more akin to the others. This one, it's so weird because this one for the US has like this sort of black slime border, but the art is way more like enlarged. It's all over the place. The title is in gold instead of like green or purple, and even the back is like purple and black compared to like the blue, purple, black, that sort of thing. And I don't understand why it was the only tape in the US that had it like that. In terms of the only sealed tapes that I have this 3-pack. I got this from someone in Canada, but this was a 3-pack of 3 Goosebumps tapes: Haunted Mass 2, Werewolf of Fever Swamp, and Welcome to Dead House. It even has a sticker there. 3 Goosebumps videos, 1 low price. Read Goosebumps Series 2000. So I have, I mean, beautiful. Technically I have 3 sealed tapes in one.
You do. It's beautiful. I'm actually jealous of that.
Yeah, that was a great find, and I got it for a good price too. The person who sold it to me was like super, super cool, and he sold it to me for a very good price.
Lucky.
Let's talk a little bit about these Ultimate Goosebumps tapes in the US. Now, these ones, again, these were US exclusive. UK and Australia did not get these episodes on VHS, but we did get One Day at Horrorland, Werewolf Skin, and this was the only one where we had 2 individual episodes, not double length. It was 2 individual episodes on one tape. these ones were obviously episodes from the third season because that's when they were calling it Ultimate Goosebumps. And these ones had, I remember I was attracted to these ones because not only were they the only ones that were a slip cover instead of a clamshell, but they also had different ads at the beginning. They had an ad for Series 2000 and the live show that was going on in the late 90s, which was pretty neat. And actually, one of the first videos on my main channel, The Steam Lord, was recording the opening to One Day at Horrorland, and that was like the first time those promos really surfaced online. So that was pretty neat. That was a good day in my channel's history.
Oh,
Micah, did you ever collect?
Too, like with season 3, how they always dub it Ultimate Goosebumps, and it's arguably the worst season of the show.
It's ultimately bad.
There's some gems in it. There are some gems. Like
yeah, no, I'm kidding. I know.
Some gems, but most of it's bad.
No, they only called it Ultimate Goosebumps is because that's what everybody did if they needed to. I mean, it literally. So here's the funny thing. In doing all my commercial and promo searching, I found that Ultimate Goosebumps was promoted as like a new series. Essentially, when they first promoted it, it was like a series premiere, and then whenever on Fox they would have the lineup, Goosebumps and Ultimate Goosebumps were two different shows, or they at least marketed it as such, but it really wasn't. It was just season 3.
Well, I think they did that because they were trying to revamp and kind of like a lot of shows do. Because like even Batman the animated series changed to a different art style, same voice actors and everything, but they changed art styles. They changed the intro. Then they did like the Adventures of Batman and Robin, the Batman Superman Adventures, etc. Goosebumps, I think, tried to do the same thing. They were just trying to revamp themselves because this, I think, at the time, if I remember right, Goosebumps was kind of starting to go on that decline a little bit. So they were trying to find new ways to make it fresh and appealing, even if nothing else changed. Like basically changing the outer package, but it's the same candy on the inside. So I think what's missing from a lot of that, though, was especially those episodes, they chose wrong episodes. They chose wrong books. They chose, like we talked about in previous episode for us here, things like the trilogy, things like that. Like when you still have a lot of great books to work off of. So it was kind of really odd whoever was choosing all these and how they were getting things made. It was just bad decision making. Like we said, there's some gems in there, but I think that's what overall was happening was they were just trying to revamp it, trying to make it look fresh. Because even the intro song changed. So
it was a pretty cool intro. It's not it's not as good as the bop of a theme song for the first 2 seasons, but I mean it was pretty neat how it wasn't a brand new revamped intro, and I like that. But no, these tapes were interesting, and they're not bad episode picks. I mean, One Day at Horrorland, they mostly went for double length episodes. So One Day at Horrorland, you had Werewolf Skin, which was pretty neat. But then let's talk about this one, Bride of the Living Dummy, and An Old Story. 2 episodes that I guess just go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Oh man, so strange. I feel like what they should have done for that particular VHS is, so like for us, like we got Night of the Living Dummy 2 and Night of the Living Dummy 3, of course, in one tape. So it was actually worth buying the tape because it was over an hour long. You know what I mean? Like, so when looking at that particularly, why didn't they put Night of the Living Dummy 2 and Bride of the Living Dummy in a set? That could have been your version of having 2, but you would have had it with Bride. I mean, do you know what I mean? I don't understand the logic behind by putting an old story.
I wonder if it's because like I think they were both kind of like love themed episodes. Old story being very weird with that idea, but a little problematic. But
it's just really odd. It's a really odd picking for a double for 2 episodes on a tape. I mean, Bride of the Living Dummy is a good choice for. I don't know who was clamoring for An Old Story on home video over like many other episodes.
I honestly like Old Story. I think that's a fun episode.
It's a fun episode. It's just
weird.
It's a weird pick.
It's weird.
I'd have put like Shocker on Shock Street or something like that. Like at least like a recognizable story.
Yeah. I mean, Bride of the Living Dummy is probably my favorite Dummy episode, though. So I mean,
yeah. But
see, I like that one. I think a lot of it has to do again with like I like the Jimmy O. James character, but it really was like the fact that Goosebumps does have a really good way of getting child actors to play like these really annoying kid roles and a-hole roles, to where you even as like an audience member in that very short time watching these episodes are like, fucking hate that child, like, and you just want to like straight throat punch them.
That is
and
one
that
of the
episode,
best.
And that episode, it was Harrison for most people, but you know, Jillian honestly was pretty annoying to me though throughout the whole. I
thought Harrison was funny. I thought I loved like.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm on the boat where Harrison I thought was funny.
He was like when he's in the bathroom trapped, and they're just like, "We're gonna get help, stay there," and he's like, "Where am I gonna go?" like that's funny.
And I will say, the twist ending in Bride with Harrison is probably one of the scariest visuals in the whole show.
Episode that is one of the best endings to an episode I've ever seen, with the eyes and Slappy's voice coming out of them. That's like great.
Slappy's eyes as well, like.
Yeah, that was
that
great.
Ending in the 1 to 3 where Zane's head just turns around, like two really good endings.
And the one from 2. A lot of the Slappy episodes have good endings. What can I say?
You know, I think Dennis spoke a little too much like Goofy.
Yeah.
But see, he already had the Force. Hayden Christensen, Zane, see? He was already becoming Anakin Skywalker, Darth, but he had the Force in him already. He was able to turn his head around.
It's funny how they managed to
make. Been able to help him out then, knowing that Obi-Wan had the high ground.
Well, I posted that on Twitter. Is like, do you think Anakin would like fight Slappy or something like that? I don't know. Anyway, we got off track.
Powers against magic.
Well, I think we got to talk about some of those German tapes, because once again, we got some pretty awesome covers for
yeah,
like that. So these German tapes, like, I mean, if you're after, look, the episodes are obviously the same, but they're going to be dubbed in, you know, German. But if you're after some pretty niche covers, definitely check out. Like, look at that night. I know you guys aren't the biggest fan of Night in Terror Tower, but that cover to me is
like
just
Fire
phenomenal.
Sky. That makes the episode look more exciting than it actually is.
I enjoyed Night in Terror Tower.
I know.
That's one of the most, in my opinion, that's one of the most overrated episodes.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either. I you know what, after our discussion last episode, I warmed up to it a little more, but it's still of like the specials, it's probably still my least favorite.
Same.
But it's fine. It's a, you know what, I was a little harsh on it last episode. I will set the record straight. It's a fine episode. It's just not my favorite. That's what I'll say.
But if you want a cool tape cover, this is the one.
That is a cool tape cover.
And you got the executioner like in the background there too. It's really hard to see, but he's actually standing up there with the axe. He's like holding it like this in the background. I'm like, that's just cool, man. Like, whoever designed this cover.
Yeah.
So one thing I will say, like, as far as like the early US releases, I think only the first 3. Yeah, only the first 3. So they were giving out like in the very first one on the Haunted Masks, right? So, you know, they have this little sticker here. It says, you know, you get a free lenticular bookmark inside. And the Night in Terror Tower and Stay Out of the Basement had lenticular cards or stickers. I can't remember what they were now. And I'm not opening my sealed ones just to find out. So
no,
I can't remember if they're stickers or cards, but you guys remember those, right? So I kind of wonder why they stopped doing that. Because honestly, I think it was like a really good selling point for Goosebumps to include bookmarks and cards and, you know, whatever else like other VHSs were doing too. Because I even remember some of my like Dragon Ball Z tapes back in the day. When the card game was going on, it had like exclusive cards for the card game inside them. Things like that. You used to get like really cool freebies in them. But Goosebumps quit doing that, and I don't even think they did that with the Australian releases. Did they, Bjorn?
No. They never had anything inside the VHS tapes here, which was really sad. I mean, all we had was those little proof of purchase cards. I mean, they came in different colors. So there was like a green one, a purple one, an orange one. So you could almost be like, yeah, I'm gonna collect all those. I mean, but I guess one thing I was going to quickly show you guys while we're on topic of VHS tapes is this was given out this was actually, so when the Wealth Fever Swamp came out on VHS in the US, this was actually when they had to set up the store display. So you've got it right here, and you've got Wealth Fever Swamp. So this is the actual cardboard display, and it even says here down the bottom, it's a bit hard to read it, but it tells you the floor unit. So when they had to actually set it up. So this is the actual like display piece that they were given to the stores to promote. And then when you open it, it's actually really cool because it opens like with a splat, as you can see. And it has
cool.
the adverts for it inside. So this was actually given to people. I don't know what store. Like I'm going to assume maybe Walmart, somewhere like that. But yeah, it says the frightfully successful video series that shipped over 4.5 million units. So the power of Goosebumps in those early days. And yeah, I just thought this was a really cool piece just to show, because this was the actual like the manual to set up the cardboard display for the.
It is. I need one of those.
You do need one.
I do need one of those.
eBay, maybe one day.
I've never even seen one except yours, so I don't even know if any more exist.
Oh, it's out there. It's out there somewhere.
In a landfill, I'm sure. Can you, like, we've talked about this in private before, Bjorn, but I cannot believe when we start talking about certain things like that, how many of these places just throw that stuff away when they're done? You know what I mean? Like, how much of that history is just now gone? Whether it's destroyed, set ablaze. Because, I mean, I used to work for GameStop, and I showed Bjorn, I was like, some of the stuff I got from when I worked there. Originally, we were supposed to trash this stuff. Like a giant window not cling, but a giant window poster of like Arkham Asylum when it came out. Like I have that. Kingdom Hearts 2 standee I have. Things like that. Just things they were going to throw away because the company didn't want them back. They were just like, destroy them. I was like, no. So
never.
No. So the thing about all that stuff from Goosebumps back in the day, how much of that is just gone now is really sad when you think about it. Because a lot of that display stuff is the stuff we remember almost as much as we do the VHS tapes in themselves.
Another thing that I want to talk about is screener tapes. So I don't know if any of you guys have these, but I found one time this screener tape. Oh yeah, you do have it. So screener tapes, essentially, for those who don't know, are tapes that were given to video stores, and either they were put on display or they would play them in the video store to like kind of have a preview for the guests. And you can even see right here, so it says preview video cassette, Goosebumps The Haunted Mask, full-length screener. Now, this is different from like a like the video they would send to stores that they show for sellers that would say, hey, Goosebumps, like in this case, it would be like, hey, Goosebumps is like over 8 million books. They would sell really good in your store. Or maybe it is, I don't know. But this one is different because it has a different design compared to the final one. So compared to the one we actually got, this one's more akin to the book with the slime cover and the green text and the Jacobus artwork. And it has a different spine too. It's purple all over. And then on the back, it says Goosebumps #1 best-selling kids books are coming to video. Over 80 million books sold since 1992, with each book selling over 1.25 million copies every month. It says The Haunted Mask is the first episode in the new live-action television series Goosebumps, premiered on prime time on the Fox network and was watched by over 19 million people. So it would basically be to video stores, be like, hey, you really want to have this video. People are going to really want to come and buy these, so you better order them. So that's what these were. Now, I have this one, and then I have 4 others. Now, these ones are similar to the ones that we got in the final one, with the exception of this little thing down here that just says not for rental or sale. But they're basically the same except for the back. The back has like a different photo. It has all those like little trivia things. And the tape just says preview cassette. Now, the thing that kind of stinks about the Goosebumps screeners is that there's nothing cool about the actual tape. It's basically just the episode with like a little bar at the bottom that just says not for rental or sale. So there's no like cool promotional stuff. There's no like neat behind the scenes sort of things. It's just the episode. They would probably maybe play it on like a TV in the corner of the video store. But they're interesting.
Wow.
They're neat little things, and especially the Haunted Mask one because of the different design. The beta design is a pretty neat collectible, I would say.
The question is, which one do you think looked cooler? Like, do you think the preview cassette tape design was better, or do you think the final version was a better like tape? Like, what?
Well,
what do you prefer?
I love the design of the final tapes. I love the pattern, like the sort of slimy effect. I love obviously I like having the Jacobus art front and center. This one looks more similar to the book, but maybe the design is a bit too basic. There's not a lot going on. It's basically just, the purple slime, but there's not really anything else going on. These ones, I mean, like you look at this one and it pops right out at you. So it's a Goosebumps tape. So
we didn't get them here in Australia.
I know it's kind of obvious. Noticed this when I was looking at them, but like that the cover art, at least in the Haunted Mask one, I'm not sure how it is on the other ones, but the actual Jacobus art is much more like oversaturated than like the book covers were.
Yeah.
Like, the green is much more vibrant on the mask and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
It was I was looking at that myself because I have mine in my case right here. And when you asked that, I was like, I don't know which one is better. And I was kind of look over and that's the screener one's a bit more muted than more vibrant than the actual clamshell one. So
yeah, that's weird. But and then one more thing I wanted to talk about in terms of VHS tapes. I actually have some custom tapes. Now, unfortunately, from the time that I looked at their website, the website no longer has any custom tapes being sold, but I was able to get a whole series of custom-made Goosebumps VHS tapes from a business called Nostalgia Video. They specialized for a while in custom VHS tapes that look very authentic. And they had a whole series of Goosebumps ones. And as you can see, my personal favorite is Night of the Living Dummy 2 in a pink clamshell. This is cool.
So cool. I love that.
It is 100% to the bare bones detail. Like, you honestly, if I put this on the shelf, you would not be able to tell the difference from, like, here's an official, and here's the custom. There's almost no difference.
They're amazing. It's so great.
It's so
dude,
cool.
I want that.
And the cool thing too is that even the tape itself has a custom made label on it with the episode number. That's cool. And when you get them, obviously they can't sell the actual episode because that's pirating. But it comes with a blank tape so that you can record the episode on there and then you can use it for its actual purpose. So this actually has Night of the Living Dummy 2, and I also put a bonus episode on there. So I could put this tape in right now and watch Night of the Living Dummy 2 on tape.
So you're a pirate.
Wow.
I'm a pirate.
Do it too, man.
Out of curiosity, what is the bonus episode?
I put Revenge of the Lawnmowers on that one.
That's a great episode.
I tried to go for episodes that were not put on tape already. Sort of to pretend like,
Yeah.
So get as much as possible. And I have a few of them here. I just wanted to show them off. I have The Girl Who Cried Monster. This one
That's cool, man. I love that.
Yeah, this one I even put like little pamphlets in here. The Girl Who Cried Monster and How to Kill a Monster on that one. I got Return of the Mummy. So I got my own Return of the Mummy in a sarcophagus gold clamshell. And this one's cool because it has the hand coming out of the border. That's neat. Say Cheese and Die. Of course, it has Say Cheese and Die Again on it. Welcome to Camp Nightmare in an orange clamshell.
Ooh.
And the Cuckoo Clock of Doom on physical media.
Hey!
Hooray!
Talking about the most hated character in Goosebumps history.
There she is, right there.
There she is, right there. I don't have
to
to
see her right there.
Oh,
I want to
God.
drop kick that girl.
That's why the ending is so great, because she's never existed anymore.
Yeah!
She may never be on the back.
Yeah, child murder.
Woo, not really.
Anyway, let's move on.
Murder, she was never born.
That's not murder.
Let's call it
That's
a
not
quantum
murder.
abortion. Anyway.
Reverse abortion.
But yeah, I mean, VHS tapes, we could go on and on about the Goosebumps VHS tapes. Me personally, I love them not only for their looks, but I love them for their episodes and their promos. I loved the promos that played at the beginning of these tapes. The first one, obviously, they'd have all the, now on video, the haunted mask, and stay out of the basement. So, like, that was the one I was on, the first three. But then as you got to like Welcome to Dead House, they'd have like all six, and then it'd be like coming soon, Living Dummy 3. And then they would have the Goosebumps book promo, which was these are all the books that are coming out, and you can join the Goosebumps fan club. Like that was cool. And even when you got to
on forever and ever.
There was Tony J who did that, and he's got a voice that's just like, oh.
Oh yeah, it's stuck in my head still from childhood. Like I can hear his voice.
And Welcome to Dead House was a very special one because not only did it have those two, it had a promo, the teaser promo for Series 2000 with the Cry of the Cat cover. And then at the very end, it had the promo for the Sail the Seas sweepstakes, which was on the Disney cruise. So after the credits, it was the only one where there was something after the credits, which was pretty neat. One more thing to talk about with these VHS tapes is the fun little things inside the VHS tapes. So Welcome to Dead House is probably my favorite because it came with not only a little booklet that had Goosebumps books and coupons and all sorts of stuff. Like here we got the Attack of the Mutant game. There was a rebate on the triple header book. All the videos available to own. So like that was pretty neat. But Welcome to Dead House had a spooky glow-in-the-dark window decal, just like the promo said.
Cool. I love that.
I got that one. That was pretty neat.
It's got Slappy on it too.
Yeah, Slappy, and it's got a hand at the bottom, and it says "Enter if you dare." Goosebumps.
Oh man, you said Attack of the Mutant before, so I just had to do it.
And Living Dummy 3 got one too. This was pretty fun. I got to get this. So obviously it has the little booklet, Living Dummy 3, all the tapes there. Then it has a Series 2000 rebate and the Series 2000 fan club. There's the game again and TCBY Goosebumps coupons.
Wonder if those are still good.
They expired on July 31st, 1998. So give or take 25 years or so.
God damn. We can't use them anymore. Like, could you imagine if you just sent in the coupon for the Series 2000 fan club pack now? And then you
like, I want this, please.
Yeah.
Like, sir.
And you put a little tip in the envelope. You put like, a couple $100 in there and be like, hey, I'm sure you can find one. I'm sure there's one buried somewhere in the Scholastic warehouse. Like,
here's the Werewolf of Fever Swamp one. Frightfully valuable deals inside. So we got Escape from Horrorland, the game. A frightfully good offer, $2 back when you buy 2 Goosebumps books, 1 through 40.
So awesome.
Pizza Hut is your official Goosebumps headquarters. Kids can get a cool limited edition Goosebumps toy when they buy a Pizza Hut kids pack.
Whoa. You know what I just remembered?
Pizza Hut was good and you wanted to go there.
There was an insert in one Goosebump video in Australia. I just remembered.
That is pretty
and
cool.
It was a postcard for the wealthy. It was actually like a little postcard for it. You know what?
That's cool.
In my mind, I'm like, yeah, there was nothing. But then I remembered, wait, there was one. So, sorry. I thought I'd just quickly throw it out there. We did have a postcard for the Well Fever Swamp that came inside the VHS.
It's funny because the first VHS I got that had an insert with it was when I got my copy of Night in Terror Tower. And I didn't expect that this was going to be in here. So when I looked inside and I saw this little pamphlet, I was like, whoa. And this one's not as cool. It looks like a Goosebumps cover. It says "Get Goosebumps," and it has like some of the books. So the original series here, and it has "Give Yourself Goosebumps" and even Goosebumps Presents down here, just kind of telling you about the new books coming out. And there's Bad Hair Day. I think that one was coming out at the time, so it has like the new Goosebumps book on there. Now, you were talking about the lenticular like cards and bookmarks. I have a lenticular bookmark in my Haunted Mask tape. Unfortunately, it's the one that's signed by R.L. Stine, and it's up there, and I don't want to pull it down right now. But you got it. You got my back.
I got you.
That is the one I have inside my signed VHS up there by R.L. Stine, which yes, I do have a signed VHS of the Haunted Mask. That was when I went with you, Nick.
That's where we met, man.
That's where we met. That's where I got my VHS signed, and he got his what was it? It was a Haunted Mask signed, the script.
My Haunted Mask script.
Yep, that was cool. That was a good time, my friend. And
I'm
then
curious.
it's funny because we're just going through oh, here we go. We got another one right here, Haunted Mask 2.
See, now this one's a bit rough because this is actually my one from the VHS from when I was a kid. VHS obviously is long since dead because I watched it
You
to
probably
death.
used it. You probably used it for your Goosebump books.
But this one, oh yeah, like
Well,
the
I always
fact that
like
I still
finding.
have it and it's still in pretty fairly decent shape is amazing.
Well, I always like finding the ones inside of the bookmarks inside of the books. Okay, one more before we move on to the next physical media. But this one for the Haunted Mask also had just a plain 20th Century Fox book of pamphlet of like Fox features, but it did have Get Goosebumps.
Oh, yeah, boy.
Nice.
I got Goosebumps all up inside my shit everywhere.
Oh yeah, those little now on video pins too. I got some on my shelf also. So we could talk about VHS stuff forever, but let's move on to DVDs now. So of course, the DVDs we got in the early 2000s, and we got a whole line of DVDs. Now these were the first four.
We didn't get any in the early 2000s.
Oh yes. So you guys overseas did not get these Goosebumps DVDs until you guys got the whole series on set, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yes, the US we got Goosebumps DVD starting in 2004, I believe. And the first four were Werewolf of Fever Swamp, Wolf in the Dead House, Living Dummy 3, and Haunted Mask 2. No Haunted Mask 1 ever. Nope. But Micah, and I know you've been itching to talk about Goosebumps DVDs, and you got yourself some cool customs. Why don't you go ahead and pull them out and show them?
Okay, so
what she said. Whip them out.
That's what she said. First, so for those of you guys who don't know, Goosebumps had a second wave of DVDs that came out, I believe, starting in 2008, and they ran until at least 2011, 2012. That basically took 2 to 4 episodes, and yeah, it had these kind of modern, revamped, kind of more cinematic covers, which I really love these. I know a lot of people don't like them. A lot of people prefer the Jacobus ones, but I love this. And depending on the DVD, they would come with 2 to 4 episodes. One's like Terror Tower, which was a 2-parter, would it just have the 2-parter episodes, like Night in Terror Tower and Stay Out of the Basement, for example. Then you got ones like Go Eat Worms, which are individual episodes, and that would include 3. So in this case, Go Eat Worms, Bad Hair Day, and Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. And then the one rare case, which Isaiah held up, was Monster Blood, which included 4 episodes, which were the 2 Monster Blood episodes, How to Kill a Monster and Girl Who Cried Monster. So I am a graphic designer by heart, and that's what I'm studying in school. So I've kind of designed my own customs for DVDs that we have not gotten. And because I love the 2008 reprint style, I did those for a few of them, and I have 3 of them here, even though I have many more on my digital files online. Mm-hmm. Starting off, I got the Haunted Mask.
Oh, God, that looks so good.
So on the back, I also did Haunted Mask 2 on there as a bind up with the Unloved Ones at the top. Of course, this is the If Looks Could Kill, because all the DVDs had a little like tagline on the back.
Yeah. It's beautiful, man. I need one of those.
That's cool.
Yep.
But no, Haunted Mask we never ever got in the US on DVD alongside Werewolf Skin and the Cuckoo Clock of Doom. So and that means that Cuckoo Clock of Doom, even that is another awesome custom. I like that you used Jacobus's artwork for that one.
Mainly because I couldn't find any good images of a cuckoo clock to use, and plus this is just iconic, so I pretty much just like recreated the Jacobus cover, but more gritty and dark.
Well, and that's what they did for Blob That Ate Everyone too. This also used the Jacobus art, but it was darker, I guess. It had a nice car.
And then, my custom for this, I bound it with Soccer on Shock Street and Click, which was a two episodes that were on DVD together in one of the early releases. Yep. So
that is so sweet, man.
No, and then you got to Doran is wanting to get. The other one I have with me is my own custom Night of the Living Dummy packaging.
Oh, I love it.
A more basic cover, but it's Slappy peeking out of a closet.
But that's perfect because every episode, I swear, he's shoved in a closet and he's peeking out. Like there's nothing more perfect than that.
Yeah, and the difference is between the official release is that this includes all 3 dummy episodes instead of just the 2 in Bride like the official one has.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. That's beautiful, man. Like I can't wait to get that, honestly. And like, you know what you could even do? You could make like a DVD menu. You could put the episode. You could do like a full thing and then send it to whoever it is, Fox, and be like, "Hey, release this."
And they'd be like, "Are you pirating?"
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that for you because I don't want to pirate.
But no, these DVDs are awesome. The first 4 that came out were of 4 ones that were released on VHS. So you had Werewolf Fear Swamp and Dead House and Living Dummy. The only thing that sucks about Goosebumps DVDs, and this goes for all of them, is, I mean, in some cases they didn't even have menus; they just cut to the episode. But there was no the ones that came after 2008 had menus, but they very rarely had any Goosebumps promos. I can tell you that these certainly did not. They just they showed the 20th Century Fox logo and it goes into the episode. There's no menu. When the episode ends, it just starts all over again. Which I mean is cool. I'd like to watch the episode again when it's done, but come on, give me a cool little. This was the time when DVD menus were awesome, and we couldn't get like anything cool with those.
Oh, going off topic just like for a split second, only because like when you talk about awesome DVD covers, I just have to point it out. Do you guys remember the DVD menu for Superbad? I think it was like the special edition where Michael Cera actually dances for 30 minutes. And he continuously dances for 30 minutes with no loop. It's a full 30-minute dance. And this was something that I found out recently. It's just from 30 minutes, he dances the whole way and there's no random loop in between. So it's literally, so that's what they wanted to do for the DVD. And I'm like you said, just awesome DVD menus. They did cool stuff like that. And you think what they could have done for Goosebumps in terms of like an awesome DVD menu, you know what I mean? Like you could have had like Slappy peeking out of a cupboard and then he pops back in, you know, like this, the cuckoo clock, like when you press play, the cuckoo clock could have like come out of the actual clock and then the episode stuff. You know, there's so many cool things like that they could have done, but I don't know. It's sad.
But I mean, it was nice to have them on DVD, all the episodes. I like the colors that they used on these. I like the purple and orange and the blue and yellow and the yellow and blue. It's basically just the reverse. And then the green and orange. This was a great color for Haunted Mass 2. I really like this one. So those were the first 4. And then we started getting into some really weird picks because the next 3 that came out were these 3. Cry the Cat, Deep Trouble, and How I Got My Shrunken Head. All season 4 episodes. All season 4 episodes, which was weird. But yeah, we got Cry the Cat, we got Deep Trouble, and How I Got My Shrunken Head.
So weird.
It is weird.
Yeah, they went to those next. Like, oh, let's do those ones next. And I think
I'm guessing it's because there were other 2-parters.
Yeah, they might have been. But and then we got another wave, which was these 3. Trilogy, Scary House, and I'll get to this one in a second, and The Ghost Next Door. So we got all of season 4 on DVD.
They wanted to get it out of the way. They
wanted to get it out right away.
Get it out of the way.
I mean, Ghost Next Door is a good episode. That's probably one of my top 10.
It is. It's just funny that we got like season 4, all the season 4 episodes before we got like any other classic ones. Scary House is the most generic DVD title. And this was the first one, I think, to have 2 individual episodes. It was the House of No Return and the Haunted House game were on this one. And then, of course, you got Trilogy, which Trilogy is a weird case because there's technically two trilogies. There's this one, and then there's this one. This one came out. This one came out first, and just so you can see, neither of them use a cover that's fitting. They're both Monster Blood covers. So this one came out first, and this one has, it has all the episodes on the back, or the pictures of the episodes. I say that because this one not only has a different picture, it doesn't even use the right episode. It doesn't even use the right episode. That's not Trilogy.
Like, it's kind of funny because I know a lot of people think the one with the Monster Blood 1 cover is the fixed version, but no, that was the first one. They messed up on the second release.
Well, and this one came later. Man? This one came later. You can see there's kind of a different design to it.
He did a really cool custom of that though, Micah. You did a Trilogy custom that looked really good. That could have been the official one.
Yeah, Completionist commissioned me to do it, so I made it.
But this one is so weird. And it has the original DVD in it with the Monster Blood 1 cover. But yeah, this one they just got super lazy and they didn't even put the right episode on there on the back.
I wonder how that happened. If that was just laziness or if it was oversight.
I don't know.
But, chicken all over again.
And then we got another 3-wave. This one we got a little more season 3 episodes. We got Shock Run Shock Street, Perfect School, and My Best Friend's Invisible.
I like the Perfect School. That's a good episode. That, in my opinion, is one of the better underrated episodes. I love the concept of that.
I like the back here. It has a little Goosebumps eraser right there. That one's pretty neat.
That's so cool. They're merchandising again. See?
There's the My Best Friend's Invisible had that episode, and this one had an old story. And there's the shit cookies on the bottom. Literally, like look at that. That looks like,
oh goodness.
Quite literally. And then of the classic era of Goosebumps DVDs, we got one more wave, and these are actual classic episodes. It came from Beneath the Sink, Night of the Living Dummy, and Say Cheese and Die. This was probably this is what they should have started out with after the 2-parter episodes. But yes, Say Cheese and Die 1 and 2, Night of the Living Dummy 2, and Bride. And then this one it came from Beneath the Sink and Strained Peas.
At least they got it right this time for Night of the Living Dummy by putting Night of the Living Dummy 2 and Bride, unlike the VHS. See, this time they got it right.
Yep. This one, they got both dummy episodes. And then there's Harrison with the eyes on the back there.
Seriously. It came from the Sink DVD. What a crappy deal of episodes you got on that one.
Yeah, Strained Peas. I remember watching that episode on the DVD for the first time, and it was so bad.
Both episodes suck. Strained Peas came from Beneath the Sink. Both terrible.
I'll watch It Came From Beneath the Sink a billion times before I watch Strained Peas once.
Oh, same. Very much so.
But then in 2008, we got a brand new line of DVDs that coincided along the release of Horrorland, the Horrorland books. And of course, the first ones we got were, of course, One Day at Horrorland, Night in Terror Tower, and Monster Blood. Now, this was a great set of DVDs. This is like the classic. I remember when these were everywhere when Horrorland was about. This was when it came to Cartoon Network, so the series was getting a little bit of a bump, and then they brought out these DVDs. And these were pretty good selections. I mean, One Day at Horrorland had that and Welcome to Camp Nightmare, so it was 2 double-length episodes on there.
That's awesome.
And same thing with Night in Terror Tower and Stay Out of the Basement. 2 double-length episodes.
Beautiful.
Monster Blood was not 2 double-length episodes. It was 4 single-length episodes. Monster Blood 1, 2, How to Kill a Monster, and The Girl Who Cried Monster. 4 episodes. That's a good set.
Monster related. See?
Absolutely. And then the next ones, we got a little dodgy waves. There were more like 2, but we got Return of the Mummy and Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. And these ones were a little weirder selections. Scarecrow Walks at Midnight had Don't Go to Sleep and Calling All Creeps. This one had
I mean,
Return of the Mummy and Don't Wake Mummy and You Can't Scare Me.
I can see that. I can kind of see that. Like, I mean, having both Mummy episodes on there, that's good. But You Can't Scare Me. I mean, that's a little bit of a odd one, even though that holds a place in my heart. That episode, I will admit. But yeah, no, a bit of an interesting one, definitely.
And then the next ones we got were Headless Ghost and Attack the Jack-o'-lanterns. Attack the Jack-o'-lanterns had a pretty good selection. It had Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns, Vampire Breath, and Let's Get Invisible. So this was a pretty good selection. Headless Ghost had Headless Ghost, and then they had Awesome Ants and Teacher's Pet.
Oh man, that's a terrible set, man.
It might be the vote for
Headless
the
Ghost
worst
is good.
one yet.
I like Headless Ghost. I'm like the unpopular opinion that I love Headless Ghost episode.
Oh,
Oh no,
that's
I
fine.
love Headless
The other
Ghost.
two-
It's the other two that
Fair enough.
suck.
The other
No,
two,
Headless
it's like,
Ghost
why
is
are they
fine,
on there?
yeah.
Mhm.
And then the next wave we got were Blob Dead Everyone and Go Eat Worms. This was the oddballs of the group. Go Eat Worms had that episode, Bad Hair Day and Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. And then Blob That Ate Everyone had that episode, plus My Hairiest Adventure and Piano Lessons Can Be Murder.
Why is Go Eat Worms getting the attention on that DVD? Why couldn't it be Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes? Or like, why is that not the center of attention of the DVD? Like, you literally have to pick up the Go Eat Worms one and be like, oh, we've got also Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes on there. Like, how is that not like the cover art?
It's a
Especially
cooler
since
looking
it's the
cover
only
art,
good
though.
episode on that DVD.
Yeah.
And then we
They should have
got
got creative and just had the gnomes eating worms or something. You know what I mean? Like
Go Eat Lawn Gnomes. No,
Go
Lawn
eat-
Gnomes eat worms.
lawn gnomes eat worms.
and then of the last original ones we got, these were the last original episodes that we got on here were Ghost Beach and Attack of the Mutant. Attack of the Mutant, Attack of the Mutant was another one that had two double-length episodes. Attack of the Mutant. Oh no, not double-length. No, Attack of the Mutant was the only double-length and had Phantom of the Auditorium on there. And then Ghost Beach had Ghost Beach, The Barking Ghost, and Be Careful What You Wish For. So
Yeah.
That was an
I mean-
atrocious selection.
well, and again, for the most
no.
part,
Terrible.
besides two double-length episodes and one single episode, that was the entire series right there.
Mhm.
Just No Haunted Mask, Werewolf
Just
Scanner,
no
Doom.
man.
What
So,
the heck?
We did
What
for
is
the
this?
20th anniversary of Goosebumps get reissues of 3 DVDs. I only have one, and that's Night of the Living Dummy. It's the same episodes. It's even the same disc. Oh no,
Ooh.
it's not the same disc. It's a new disc. But it's the same DVD. It's just the same episodes, nothing different. But there was also Say Cheese and Die, and it came from Eat the Sink. So those 3 pairs got re-releases. Yep, that's Say Cheese
I got
and Die
one.
right there.
I got one.
Full cover.
And it
I
has-
like that one a lot.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I
I
like
think
that
there we
cover.
go.
That one is
I
pretty
do.
nice.
Too. It's kind of like
So-
the reissue book cover in a way. Like it's kind of got the
Yeah.
the same armor, and they've gone for that sort of vibe. Yeah, no, it's really cool. I like that too.
Even though they don't use an actual instant camera. It's
Yeah.
all
Yeah, no.
digital cameras.
So
Uh,
that was it for the mainline DVDs, but we also got a bunch of like 2-packs, 3-packs along the lines. So let's see here.
I got
So-
2 of them.
I see what you got there, Micah.
I got a 3-pack
Yep.
throw of Night of the Living Dummy, Monster Blood, and Say Cheese and Die. Pretty
Yep.
rough condition. I found this at a Goodwill, so I was like, anything I find Goosebumps at Goodwill, I pick up.
yeah, man.
So I got
Um,
this one, and then for Christmas, I actually got a sealed 3-pack thriller of Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns, Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, and Headless Ghost.
Ooh,
Oh,
I have
you got
sealed
Headless
one
Ghost
too.
one.
Nice.
Whoa, that must be just like they went crazy when they released that one. Like, yeah, I gotta get that one out.
But before those came out, we got these ones, these 20th Century Fox kids double features. It says all your friends together on 2 fun DVDs. That looks fun to me.
Ooh.
So I have 4 of these: Cry the Cat and Say Cheese and Die. We have Ghost Next Door and Shock Run Shock Street, Perfect School and My Best Friend's Invisible and Trilogy and Scary House. There is one with Night of the Living Dummy, and I think it came from Beneath the Sink.
No, it's Night of the Living Dummy and How I Got My Shrunken Head.
Oh, yes. That's the only one I do not have. But
I got like Go Eat Worms and Trilogy and Awesome Ants even all got released on DVD, but not the Haunted Mask. Like, what the shit is going on here?
Yep. So that was the fifth one of those. So there was 5 total of those double packs.
You know what I don't understand? Okay, we got this one right. So they should have done Night of the Living Dummy 2 and Night of the Living Dummy 3 as a pack.
Yes. Don't know why
what the heck, man? What the slappy's going on here?
All right.
Use that
also
power
did,
so that way it got another release.
They also did the 2 DVD spook packs, which were the 2 double features for the 2008 re-releases.
Well, and these ones came out for the 20th anniversary, so I have 3 of these. One Day at Horrorland and Go Eat Worms, The Headless Ghost and Ghost Speech, and The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight and A Night in Terror Tower. So these were pretty neat. Again, they're just basically, this one actually has a little pamphlet inside. Wait, get Goosebumps celebrating 20 years. Play Horrorland on DS and Wii and the Goosebumps Photoshock app. Read the most wanted books. Watch on DVD or on the Hub Network. Remember the Hub Network? And listen on audiobooks. And then on the back, it's just a Goosebumps G20.
Man, that was a long time ago now.
So
remember when 20th anniversary was like yesterday? Now it's a lifetime ago already.
Now it's a 30th anniversary.
31 this year.
Yeah.
Or 32. No, 31.
It's gonna be 32 this year.
32 this year.
Yeah.
We're only 3 days into 2024. So, and then then we had the 3-pack thrillers. There were 5 of these.
We get a 30th anniversary for the show next year, though.
We have One Day at Horrorland, Return of the Mummy, and Shocker on Shock Street, Ghost Beach, Night in Terror Tower, and Scary House. We have Attack of the Mutant, Blob That Everyone, and Go Eat Worms. Monster Blood, Night of the Living Dummy, Say Cheese and Die, and Attack of the Jack-Lanterns, Headless Ghost, and The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. So it was like a big hodgepodge of different...
I don't understand. Where's the Haunted Mask? Why did they never do it? Like, do you think for the 30th anniversary of the series they might release the Haunted Mask or something? Like, are they waiting?
My hope is they actually release the whole entire series on Blu-ray.
Yes.
Because it's long overdue. So we've never even gotten a whole standard release on DVD here in the States. So for the 30th anniversary, Scholastic, if you're listening, make us a goddamn 30th anniversary Blu-ray set of the whole show.
Yes. Yeah, man. Or we're gonna come to your house and we're gonna steal all your shit.
But also,
behind the scenes, featurettes. I want it all. Awesome menus. Everything we've been talking about here. That's what I want for the 30th anniversary of the show.
Absolutely.
Hey, we got some cool stuff here in Australia, though, when it comes to DVDs. We got stuff here. We got some pretty cool things.
Personally, the 3-pack throwers were cool. They had, most of the 2-packs just took from whatever ones, like those period, like these ones were just the 2008 reissues. These ones just took from all over. In fact, the funny thing is that if you look inside, like this one, for example, Monster Blood, Living Dummy, and Say Cheese and Die, it's the original DVDs. So you have the 2008 one, but then you have a 2006 one. Like, that was kind of funny.
And also they actually added original packaging for the 3-packs as well. They didn't just take like the 2008 or whatever covers and just like put them side by side. They actually took time to develop their own unique design for them.
Graveyard thing. Yeah.
That's cool.
And then one more thing before we move away from DVDs, or move to the big box sets, that is Goosebumps movie DVDs. Now, these ones are pretty simple. You have Goosebumps 1 and 2 on DVD. This one has digital, which is pretty cool. And then you have Blu-ray. So you have Goosebumps 1 on Blu-ray. This one had the cool little holographic title. And then this one's just a plain-ass Blu-ray disc. And then I actually was able to find a 4K Ultra HD of Goosebumps too, which was pretty neat.
Can't believe
That's
you
crazy.
Yeah. So
Can't believe they wasted their time. No.
And also, one more thing before we move into like the full box sets that I was going to mention about the 3-pack thrillers as well. I don't know how much truth there is behind this. I just remember seeing something on YouTube. Someone commented it on some other collection video, but apparently there's a rumor that there was originally going to be another 3-pack thriller with My Best Friend is Invisible, Cry of the Cat, and Perfect School that never got released. But I'm not sure. I don't know how much truth there is behind that, but
I wouldn't put it past them if they did.
Mm-hmm.
And before we move away from DVDs, Bjorn, you have a big DVD pack you got to show us. So roll it out, whip it out.
But before we can whip out the DVD pack, I have to show you the 3 DVDs they released in Australia that had a collection of episodes before we whip out the big guns. Now, let's just start with the most wanted episodes. So yeah, they literally had a collection and it said 5 fantastic So basically, you turn to the back and you've got a little collection of episodes on there. But the good thing is you've got about 5 or 6 on there. So you've got The Haunted Mask Part 1 and 2. So even this random collection DVD had The Haunted Mask on it. We got that here in Australia. But you got The Haunted Mask Part 1 and 2, Piano Lessons Can Be Murder, Say Cheese and Die, Bride of the Living Dummy, and The Werewolf of Fever's Swamps, Part 1, Part 2. And you got, see, look at that. Look at that. We got all that here in Australia on this one. Now, I personally think this was the better collection DVD of episodes, even though it's called the most wanted episodes. Do you guys agree that those episodes are most wanted, or?
It would be the ones I mean, most of them are the ones I most want. I certainly most want the Haunted Mask on DVD.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, the next collection we got was called The Best of the Eerie Episodes. The Best of the Eerie. So these titles they were coming up with, I don't know. It's just so random. But then on the back here, you got another like 6 or so episodes. And you've got, I don't know if you can see it clearly, but kind of. But you got The Girl Who Cried Monster, Calling All Creeps, How to Kill a Monster, A Shocker on Shock Street, One Day at Horrorland Part 1 and 2, and The Ghost Next Door Part 1 and 2. All that on this one DVD. So there's that one.
Not a bad rap.
Not bad. Yeah, those are pretty good episodes. Aside from Horrorland.
Not a bad one. But the most interesting DVD we got here in Australia for the original series, we're talking the original series, is Movie
That's
Flappy.
not the right one.
I know. It's called The Creepiest Episodes, and it's got Movie Slappy. I don't get it.
Off here.
Oh, it gets better.
I'm guessing it's like because the movies came out when this DVD came out, this was like, we got to help sell this show, so let's put Movie Slappy on there. But then the episodes they chose, I agree with, a good handful of them. You got The Blob That Ate Everyone, Night of the Living Dummy 2, Night of the Living Dummy 3. It's sealed, by the way. This is the one that I didn't open because it's just so ridiculous. Let's Get Invisible and Say Cheese and Die. Now, they believe that to be the creepiest episodes, but there is some random looking clown on there that's got nothing to do with Goosebumps. That does look pretty creepy. If that was like Murder the Clown or something, like, goddamn, that would be the creepiest Goosebump monster ever. But yeah, those are considered the creepiest episodes, whether you agree. I do agree some of them, but, But now for the big guns, I actually have 2 box sets to show. The first one is the box set they released in Australia. The complete series, seasons 1 to 4.
The big one.
So we got, and look, it's got Slappy on the spine on one side, and then on the other side, you've got the Haunted Mask.
Oh, that's a spine tingler.
And then, you got How to Kill a Monster. You got the Mummy there, Haunted Mask 2, Mr. Mortman there, another Haunted Mask 2. So we got the entire collection here in Australia. And the crazy thing is, we never got any individual DVDs like you guys got with just the individual episodes. We just got the box set straight out. And this thing was everywhere when it came out. Like, I'm talking every DVD store that you can think of that was here in Australia had this box set. And they just sat on the shelves for the longest time. As soon as that movie came out, they disappeared within like weeks. None left, all gone. And they were $100. Now they sell for like $200 to $300 if you want one. They're expensive now. But yeah, we got the whole collection here, just flat out like that. And then another interesting thing is in Germany, they released this box set. So this is the complete collection as well. And the reason why I wanted to show this, I'm hoping for the 30th anniversary, we get something similar to this here in Australia. For you guys over in the States, like for Canada, I'm hoping that we get, so basically this thing comes out, little backing piece, and it actually opens. And inside, you've got like Goosebumps
all sorts
sticker.
of goodies.
You got goodies. Look, you've even got like, you got postcards in there. Look at that with Bride the Living Dummy. You've got the Welfare Fever Swamp, little postcard in there. You've got a poster, an actual poster that opens up. You've got a booklet which tells you about each individual episode. So I'm not even kidding here. You go through this and it tells you about Arlstein, tells you about all the different episodes from the series in there. Yeah, you name it, they're all in there. And then you've got the actual box set itself inside. So I don't know what's going on over there in Germany, but they're doing something right when it comes to the TV series.
Very true. That's like the coolest box set I've ever seen.
In the world could get a DVD of Old Story. You know what I mean? Like, I feel we are very selfish here in the States. You guys got all these box sets, and we get a DVD of Old Story. So it's.
Look, they literally have OG Goosebumps like stuff. Mm-hmm. It looks like something you got in the 90s in here. I don't understand. And like that was Germany. And then yeah, it's cool because you got like the
awesome as well.
Oh yeah.
There. The Jack Lantern back is pretty cool too. I know, like with the Horrorland, the Scarecrow, a random giant tarantula.
Yeah, that's the it's Girly Cried Monster, I guess.
Yeah.
There's your Girly Cried Monster reference.
But yeah, that's the box set that they brought out in Germany. So I'm like, my God, it's like I don't understand why some places do awesome things, and then on the spine there they even put Automast. So yeah, really, really cool. That I don't know, some places just be doing it right.
And I hope we get something like that in the States for the 30th anniversary. We are long past due for our Goosebumps complete series box set. There's so many series now that have gotten those things, and Goosebumps is a big thing still. I mean, you think even with the new series on Disney Plus that there'd be something like that, some kind of thing to capitalize on it. But only time will tell, and I sure hope that we get it.
Now, all we got in the U.S. bootlegs.
It's a more condensed version that Bjorn has, and if I understood correctly, it's a UK version, but I actually got this on Amazon forever ago. Of course, it was brand new at the time, but the only way to watch Goosebumps at the time was on DVD. But it's a complete series. And again, you can see where they use like the same artwork that's on his box.
What do the DVDs look like inside? What do they look like inside?
It's been a while since I've opened these up. Give me a second.
I'm actually curious.
Still looks like the spider web and stuff. That's not changed. Yeah. And inside, they're just black discs. They're not really like anything special, but then they advertise like another Goosebumps set, which might be the one that you have. I'm not really sure. It's hard to tell by that picture.
It looks like it.
Is it this one? This is the other one we had too. It was just a random collection. So basically all those collection DVDs, like the eerie episodes and that, they basically released those in this box set as well.
I see.
But this one was only available at one place called Big W, so it was super exclusive. And I remember even when I got it, they only had 2 in store.
W.
Yeah, it says, it's a Big W. But I love how the images they used on the back to sell it was like, put Ryan Gosling on it, put Ryan Gosling on it, put Flappy on it, put Flappy on it. So it's like they knew what to put on the back of it, but it's just a random haunted house collection they did. So they did that as well in Australia, but it was more just like, it was more just like the random little collection DVDs they put in this as well. So we got a collection DVD box set and just seasons 1 to 4 in a box set. So yeah.
Well, physical media, I mean, the VHS tapes and the DVDs, like we could go on them for hours, and they're definitely some of the coolest parts of our Goosebumps collection. And there's a lot more Goosebumps physical media left to talk about, but we might have to save it for another time just because there's so much more to talk about. So we'll save it for another episode. We got more physical media to talk about. We're going to talk about the Goosebumps reboot and how we would approach a reboot. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor. This episode is sponsored by Stevie Wicks Candle Company. It's a well-known fact that everyone loves a good-smelling candle every now and then. Stevie Wicks has you covered, as they specialize in quality-made scented candles. Not only do they have a large array of scents to choose from, but because Stevie Wicks candles are made from biodegradable soy-based wax, their candles burn slower and last longer. And if that wasn't enough, Stevie Wicks not only sells single and 3-wick candles, but they even sell jewelry, making Stevie Wicks a great place to get gifts for someone you know. And their monthly subscription boxes make for a gift that keeps on giving all year long. If you're a fan of Goosebumps like we are and are in the mood for some spooky smelling scents, they also have a selection for those who dabble in the supernatural, including Dragon's Blood, Witch's Brew, and Candy Corn. And Goosebumps Crew listeners have access to a very special deal. If you sign up for Stevie Wicks' monthly subscription box and use promo code LISTENERBEWARE at checkout, not only will you get 10% off your first month, but Stevie Wicks will make sure your box is filled with Halloween-themed scents, no matter the time of year. But wait, there's more. If you use promo code HAUNTED20 when purchasing your first subscription box, you'll get 20% off your first month. Or if you just want to snag something specific for yourself or a friend, you can use promo code SLAPPY10 to get 10% off any order. So what are you waiting for? Go to StevieWicks.com or click the link in the description to go snag yourself some quality made candles and snag some deals with our special Goosebumps promo codes. And of course, thanks to Stevie Wicks Candle Company for sponsoring this episode. And now, back to more Goosebumps. So, in terms of the Goosebumps reboot, now in the first episode we did on the Goosebumps Crew Podcast, we talked about the Goosebumps 2023 series, and some of us definitely had our opinions on it. There were things that we liked and things that we did not like, but overall we felt like there was a lot of stuff that we would have liked a reboot of Goosebumps to be. And I think a great thing to do would be to talk about what we would have liked to see from a modern Goosebumps reboot. And I guess I'll start because I like the idea of a serialized Goosebumps show. I like the idea of these stories coexisting with each other, sort of that you could watch them on their own, but there's like a big story going on. And that's what I liked out of the modern reboot was sort of at first the connection between them all. It just kind of fizzled out towards the end. But I personally would like to see a Horrorland adaptation to TV. Like how they did Goosebumps Horrorland, the book series, adapt that to TV. Because then that way you can have singular stories with Goosebumps characters and then have it kind of coincide at the end in Horrorland where it all comes together.
I think that would be a really cool idea, honestly. Like, yeah, like, you know, I mean, obviously going back to like the movies, obviously we wanted Goosebumps 2 to be Horrorland, right? I mean, Horrorland is one of those things that I feel like they haven't been able to get right yet, you know, and like with the new series, they promised us Horrorland, like with the title, like that was the ultimate clickbait. And I was just like, oh, God damn, like when they didn't give it to us, I'm like, how can you promise us Horrorland and then you don't deliver on that? So I think, yeah, a series based on Horrorland itself, like the actual book series, oh, that would be just, that'd be amazing. Honestly, like I feel like it's something they still haven't done justice towards is Horrorland, in my opinion. And I feel like it's something that needs to be done. And you could do, yeah, the whole first season could just be that, you know, the entire first season could be Horrorland.
Yeah.
But how many episodes would you want, like in what, like season one? Like what would be for you? Like how many episodes would you want to see?
Well, I would like to go about it where we adapt the stories of the Goosebumps books, the original books, kind of like what the 2023 series was doing. And I mean, you got to get the basics. You got Say Cheese and Die, The Haunted Mask, Slappy, Monster Blood. I like the idea of having the Cuckoo Clock of Doom, and honestly, if they did the concept for Go Away Worms for that for my version of the show, I wouldn't be against it. But even thinking back to the actual book series of Horrorland, I like you got like Where's My Mummy, which was like a mummy book. You had Deep Trouble tied in and all that. So just kind of take from like the actual most classic, iconic Goosebumps books because there's a lot of them, and do your adaptations, have the kids in those stories come together, or even maybe have them like cross over with each other. Like maybe a kid comes across maybe more than one spooky thing. Um, I even like the idea of Slappy being the main antagonist, and he's kind of like, because I will say one thing I did like personally about the new series is I actually liked how they changed Slappy's backstory. I like that he was actually the soul of a dead wizard, and that's why he's magic. And it kind of makes him more sinister because he has ulterior motives. He's not just like, I want to rule the world. He's actually like, I'm trying to, like, I have a goal I want to do. Something like that. And it'd be nice too, because he's like, I'm going to unleash all these monsters on the world, and that's where all these things come from. And then he's like, my main thing is I want to create Horrorland. And then he makes the theme park Horrorland. So, like, it's basically like a retinkering of what they were trying to do with the reboot series, but they either were too afraid to go all the way or they just didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I mean, definitely.
Being realistic, I mean, that was probably both. They sat there and, they showed pictures of those books they were using for the episodes, like up on a board. And it's like, oh, wait, are these people actually, did they read the books? Or no, you could definitely tell they didn't read the books. You can definitely tell they only used probably like the titles of the books and the covers as inspirations for their own screenplay version of that character. That's it. Like they got the general premise down. It's basically like kind of like we talked about with Jacobus and how, Stein gave him just a few sentences and the title of the book. Basically, that's what I feel that the writers of that show did.
Yeah.
So it's a real shame that we did get clickbaited so bad in that later half of the season because, man, I mean, I was looking forward to seeing what they did with the part two of Night of the Living Dummy, if that was going to be based on Night of the Living Dummy 2 or just continuation of Night of the Living Dummy. I was looking forward to You Can't Scare Me, seeing some mud monsters, how their interpretations of them would be. And then the Horrorland one as the finale. Man, if you're a Goosebumps fan and you knew that Goosebumps 2 was supposed to have been Horrorland and we got robbed of that, your first thought's like, damn, we're finally getting Horrorland. This is it. Like, amazing. And then, yeah.
It was a bit, like that. I mean, my idea of a reboot show is short and sweet, guys. Honestly, personally, I would like it to go back to the anthology route from the original show, but I wouldn't just do like a 10 episode series and just pick only episodes from the original 62. I would like to do a few episodes from each series. So personally, episodes 1 would be Night of the Living Dummy. And then I would probably jump into like maybe do one more from the original series. Maybe. I mean, I don't really know which one I would pick. I mean, do Legend of the Lost Legend, like one that you just wouldn't expect. And then I would probably jump into the series 2000 and I'd pick a few books from there. So I would probably do like Attack of the Graveyard Ghouls because, it's an iconic cover, it's an iconic book, but we've never had a book like an episode adaptation. So I'd maybe do it like Attack of the Graveyard Ghouls and maybe do like the Haunted Car. And then I would jump into like the Horrorland series, do a couple books from there. And then maybe like the Hall of Horrors, even the Hall of Horror books. I might pick one from there. I might pick one of the Slappy World books. And then to be a selling point for the brand new series, Goosebumps House of Shivers, scariest book ever. Why not do the newest book that's out so it can help sell the new book? So like people see the series and they go, oh, that's the newest book that's out now. I'm going to go buy it. I'm going to read it. I think that would be a good selling point for like whatever's the newest thing available. So that's what I would do. I'd do an anthology series, but I would I would pick a few books from the different series. I wouldn't just go all one series. I would pick a few from the original 62, Series 2000, Most Wanted, Wall of Horrors, Horrorland. I would just, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I would do. And then that way you're kind of giving the fans, because you might have fans that prefer the Horrorland books. You might have fans that love the Series 2000. So you're kind of catering to everybody, you know? And that's what I would do if I was in charge of a reboot for Goosebumps. I'd be like, yep, let's do that. That's what I would do. And I would have the original theme song back with maybe a slight remix here or there. And I would get R.L. Stine in there to do some of the intros. And I would even get Tim Jacobus in there to be a part of some of the intros and outros. I think that would be really clever and fun to do, you know? So yeah, that's just me. That's my pitch idea for Goosebumps Reboot.
Nick, what do you got?
Clickbait episodes. Every single one is a clickbait.
Just one big clickbait. Isn't that technically what the new series is?
Every title, doesn't matter what it is. Say it's a haunted mask. Guess what?
Haunted Mask 3.
Has nothing to do with the haunted mask.
No, it'd be even funnier.
Shopping.
Have the episode, or even funnier, have the episode be named after a specific book, but the episode itself is a completely different book. Like, it's Haunted Mask and it's adapting like Say Cheese and Die.
Right. Clickbait.
Oh no, go even further than that. Do like Say Cheese and Die and it's adapting My Best Friend's Invisible.
No. Do Night of the Living Dummy and it's adapting Chicken Chicken.
Yes.
You would piss off everyone. Like,
Why I'm Afraid of Chicken. I'll do clickbait titles with books that are similar in terms of like their design on the covers. So Why I'm Afraid of Bees and Chicken, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna clickbait.
Oh God.
Yeah.
What's your pitch idea? What would you do?
Everybody likes the anthology route. I do too. I'll keep mine short and sweet. It's the whole, if I was going to do an overall art story, I would actually keep it centric to like, say, because I'm a big Halloween enthusiast, like that's definitely like my lifestyle. So why not just take the Halloween concept, that's it, but just do it a little better. Not having being the decorations, but just being like, what if they did take these nightmarish creatures from, like how the show did at the finale, which Horrorland. The concept that they had for that wasn't a bad idea, where he did like this sacrificial pillar, opens up a whole hellish nightmare of creatures, which we just assume are the monsters from the Goosebumps stories. I like that concept, but just build on it, but make it like a Halloween centric one, because that sounds more like a Halloween story to me anyway. Especially if you did it like on a full moon on Halloween or something,
Or even like a chiller house sort of thing, where it's like an antique shop where you buy the items, like the camera and the mask and Slappy himself. Like that way you have like you can do an anthology, but
something like that. Think of it like Gremlins. When you go into that old man's china shop, he's got all this stuff. Something like that, like you're talking about. I mean, I'm okay with that.
Use your toilet, but yes, but I must warn you, the toilet is also haunted.
Yeah, the haunted toilet.
Oh no! Oh no!
Guys,
I live in your toilet.
yeah.
The poop that ate everyone
Came from underneath the toilet.
Why I'm afraid of toilet paper.
Why I'm afraid of bidets.
Why I'm afraid of
This
public
sounds
bathrooms.
This sounds like Goose Flumps, that spin up that
Stay out
series they
stay
did.
out of the bathroom, yeah.
But I mean, like overall, I mean, I would take like all the Halloween stories from Headless Halloween, Haunted Mask 1 and 2, Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns, things like that. I think it'd be a really neat concept if you take monsters in the same universe like that, and that kind of have the same, I should say, I guess, storytelling, because it's all with Halloween related items,
Yeah.
Something fun where you could generate multiple things like that, but just put it into one universe. Because you can do that with ghosts. You can do that with werewolves, because they've had werewolf skin, werewolf in the living room. You know,
Full Moon Fever.
Full Moon Fever. I mean, he's done more than just one trope of a character, obviously, and he's used it across multiple uh, you know uh, book series. So I would think I would like to take that kind of concept to it.
Yeah.
But
The Wealth in the Living Room.
10 episodes because I'd like to make them longer episodes.
Yeah.
If I go that route rather than just an anthology.
Yeah.
No, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. Micah, what do you got?
So I've got a couple ideas actually. So I kind of have ideas for both anthology and serialized. I'm not going to go too deep on serialized because I know Bjorn and I actually did a collab on my channel where we talked about how we would pitch a serialized show. But my basic idea for that was do it kind of like the movies where there is a kind of the basic idea where there's a shared universe where Stein exists. And in this universe, Stein has either passed away or has disappeared some mysteriously. And his grandchildren, nephews, nieces, they all go to his house. And in his office, they find all these different Goosebumps memorabilia, like the camera, the haunted mask, and then maybe even borrow from the second draft script in the movie where Slappy's in a display case in the middle of it. And then after sorting through his stuff, because obviously when your family member dies, you usually will go and you go through their stuff a lot of the time and kind of divide it between the family. And basically each of them goes home, maybe not with an item, they just go to look around and they don't take anything with them. But when they go home, one of those items has mysteriously appeared in their house and then they have to deal with it. So one of my ideas was even take the Cuckoo Clock of Doom storyline from the 2023 show and just give it to Let's Get Invisible. Have the kid have the mirror appear and he starts messing with it and going invisible and stuff. And eventually he gets trapped in the mirror and his clone comes out. And you can even kind of spin this idea with the clones and give them the ability to go up to other mirrors and pull their own reflections out and have this giant clone army. I thought that'd be kind of a cool idea for that. And they could get rid of all the obvious reflections, but then there's going to be the reflections of the reflections, which are just going to look like the normal person. So then it's kind of really much more difficult idea. Or another one I had for Haunted Mask was maybe one of the girls is working at a haunted house attraction around Halloween time, and she is a scare actor there, and she finds the haunted mask and decides to use it to scare people. And during the night, as the mask takes over, she starts getting more violent with the people walking through and actually attacking them and vicious with her things and just that kind of idea.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that idea. I really do. I remember, we were talking about it, and I think that would be even a really cool concept for a Goosebumps show. See, there's so many ways you can spin this. There's so many different roads you can take when it comes to Goosebumps. I just feel the newest show, it's like the 2023 show. It's almost like there was times where I felt like they were heading in that right direction and they kind of would take a step back, or they went down that wrong pathway. And you're like, no, come back. You were doing so well for a bit. And yeah, but that's what I mean. With Goosebumps in general, it's just, there's so many different spins you can do, but that's a cool idea. I like that.
Yeah. But then going into more of the anthological route with the show, I'm just going to kind of go lightning round and tell you the books I would adapt in the first season. So, of course, starting off, we got to start with one we've all talked about, Night of the Living Dummy. That's got to be the first episode. And I'm guessing I'm thinking this is for streaming because that's the big thing. So no two-parters. This would just be, and my opinion is episodes should fluctuate in length depending on the story they're adapting. So this could be a 40-minute story or something like the length of a two-parter would have been.
Yeah, definitely.
Then
and at least that would shut up the freaking people that said that was an unaired episode.
And then episode 2, I'd say Cheese and Die, which is a single one. Episode 3, I don't have the book for, but I chose Beast from the East because that one was not adapted either. For 5, for 4, I chose Shocker on Shock Street because it's in desperate need of a reboot. Then I went with Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. That's another great one. Then, of course, I went with Haunted Mask because you got to have that in the first season. I kind of just went OG62, at least for the first season, because that's the most memorable stuff, and that will really hook an audience in, I feel like, if you went to be there. Then I went with Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. Then I did Ghost Next Door. Welcome to Dead House.
Yes.
And for Bjorn, Horror Camp Chili Jam.
Yeah!
Then I chose Monster Blood because I feel like you can do like even with the seasons, like with the sequels, you could do one sequel per season. You can have a Monster Blood 1 in the first season, Monster Blood 2 in the second season, and then things like so on and so on. Crab Monster, because that's one of the best. Then I went with Egg Monsters from Mars. And then the last two I chose were Calling All Creeps and The Curse of Camp Cold Lake.
Yeah, Curse of Camp Cold Lake would be such a good one. Can't believe that never got adapted to an episode.
Yeah. No, that one would have been so good. It would have been like, I don't know, that's just like one of the darkest books. It's like, it would have been awesome, especially for like even the 2023 series, for them to adapt Curse of Camp Cold Lake, since they were going for the darker thing. So that would have been good. But no, I think most of you guys went for the more anthology based thing. I mean, personally, I like serialized shows, so that's why I went with my thing. But I mean, obviously, Goosebumps is an anthology series. It makes sense to do an anthology TV series. So it was kind of weird that they didn't go for that. But I felt like it'd be interesting to give our thoughts about like how we would do a reboot, because we certainly have our opinions about the current reboot. And I mean, like I said, there's some things that we like and some things that we don't like. And honestly, my opinion is that there's a lot of things that 2023 series tries to do that I like. They just don't stick the landing. And they could have tweaked them a little bit to work more as a Goosebumps show. Because the new one doesn't really feel like Goosebumps in a way. It kind of feels like Goosebumps in name only, and maybe a few Easter eggs, but that's about where the Goosebumps end there. But yeah, I mean, all these ideas sound excellent.
It could go down any road, like, and I think any of that would work really well, as long as it's just got, all those ingredients that make it Goosebumps. Like that's just what I believe. Like the new 2023 show. It's like there were some things I liked. I feel like the show peaked in the middle. That's where it really peaked. 4, 5, and 6. That was kind of the episodes for me. With episode 8 being good, just like clickbait. But there was a lot missing as well. There was a lot missing. That just didn't feel like Goosebumps. And as long as it's got those key ingredients that makes it what it is that we know and love, that's what it comes down to with Goosebumps. So yeah, I mean, anthology, that's just how I would do it. But yeah, I mean, there's so many, you could just do a bunch of different reboots, all these ideas would work. So yeah, I think it's great. That's why I love hearing this from all you guys. What would you do?
Yeah, absolutely.
There was so many good stories out of Series 2000. I mean, it's a shame we only got Cry of the Cat, because I mean, like Invasion of the Body Squeezers, we could have done. Headless Halloween would have been a good one, I think, and so on and so forth. I mean, because of that, I know we talked about it before, like Creatures, Teachers, stuff like that. But I mean, it's just there's so many darker avenues that they went with that. I'm honestly surprised the new show didn't take more from the later books like that, if they were going to go to a darker route anyway. Not that you can't take the original 62 and twist them a little bit to make them a bit more dark. That's absolutely plausible. But I think the source material for what Series 2000 would have been a better fit for the show.
Yeah. I mean, there's always next time, and we hope that next time they get it right.
Maybe.
But anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of the Goosebumps Crew Podcast. I want to once again thank my Goosebumps cohorts, Bjorn, Nick, and Micah, for joining me again tonight to talk some Goosebumps. And next week, we're going to be doing some reacting. We're going to be reacting to some old Goosebumps YouTube videos, and we're going to be reacting to JonTron's Goosebumps review, which Nick has not seen. I believe the three of us have, but he has not seen it, and I'm really, really excited to show him it. So join us next week for that. It's going to be a new experience for this show to react to stuff. So if you want to keep track of that, go ahead and give us a sub over here at the Goosebumps channel. If you want to keep up on future Goosebumps videos and future episodes of the Goosebumps Crew Podcast. And of course, we're also available on Spotify. So if you guys want to go listen to us over there, audio only, you can go ahead. That link will be in the description. And yeah, until next time, for all of us here at the Goosebumps Crew, this is the Goosebumps channel signing out. Have a scary day.